who's watching this. My name is Joe Cole. Today, we're instead of playing a game, we're gonna try something different. And I'm right now. I'm in Unity, which is like you could say a game engine that can be used for many purposes. And today, I should be doing. I want to start a little series about like making a park from scratch in Unity with no code at all, just bare Unity assets. This should teach you how to do things without having to code and learn the Unity interface and stuff. So, what our goal for today is to do two things: make a platform, color it green, and then make a tree, one tree. That's our only goal for today. Now, let's start off. This might look you don't have anything in your now. First, you gotta go. If you see your directional light, double click it, and it should zoom you in with it. And then next, click on Create, and click on three, and then hover your mouse over 3D object, and then click on Cube. There's many things over here: spheres, capsules, cylinders, planes, quads, ragdolls. Those will be kind of hard to make. There's terrains. I made one before. A tree. That's what we're going to be doing today. A wind zone, which affects trees, and 3D text. So let's go to Cube, and we're selected. If you press F on the keyboard, no criticals, no control button, no shift, just F while clicking on it in the view. You can focus on it. Now, what we want to do is make a nice and big platform. So I'm gonna go over. You can see over the side with all this stuff. Don't worry about this right now. It'll be important later, but not right now. You can. So we should next. What I'm gonna do is go to scale and increase it up to the x-axis where it says X. You could also do that to see it more precisely and also actually go around, but I don't want to do that. It's going to take too long. So I'm just going to straight up go like 100 like that, and then go over to the Z, because don't do Y, because Y will bring it up. You got to do Z, which is like the 3D one, which you can see over here, which over there shows. So you do 100 there, and you zoom out, and then you zoom out. You can see, and then you can actually see the platform. Now, this does look like very much of a platform. This got color green. So go down here to where it says create. Click on the little arrow or on the thing, and then go up to material. And click on material. And this thing pops up. And type in, well, you don't have to type in this, but whatever you want. I'll just type in ground color. Now that's there. Ground color. Go up here. It should automatically be here. If it's not, you can click on it and it should pop up over here. Go over to its color thing. A window should pop up off the top right, or anywhere else it might pop up, but it pops up here for me. Go over to this little bar over here, and you can click or you can drag up to let's go to green, and go over here and drag it down to like a darkish green. Look up here for final result, or down. Or you can look down here for how it actually looks like as a sphere. So a nice and darkish green, and that should be good. And then I can take this and drag it onto this, and bam, I got my ground. I can make it metallic and make it look like more metallic. I can make it look more smooth. I want it to be rough so it's more realistic, and only I don't want it to be too much metallic, but I'll leave it like this. Actually, no metallic would be nice. No emission, because emission gives off light, so you don't need anything else here. Height maps, occlusion, emission, global illumination. I don't really know about all this stuff, but just leave it alone. You don't need it. Next thing. Okay, so you've now accomplished your platform. Next, you click on it. And if you hold down Alt, which is beside the Windows key button, hold it down, or yeah, and then click on your left mouse button, the one you normally use to click, and drag to kind of hover around an object after you've selected it. So it makes it easier to kind of see what an object is. You use your scroll wheel to zoom in and out. If you hold down Alt while using your scroll wheel, you actually zoom. As like this one here, there's a difference. You can see I'm zooming, but if I let go of it, I'm actually moving forward. You can see different. Look at this. Look at this bottom. This is not Alt. This is with Alt. But without Alt, Alt is actually zooming, but this one's actually kind of like moving me around. So, and if you're in a specific spot, you can also do the whole spinny thing, but it's not going to be centered correctly unless you actually click on it. And you can double click the thing up here to focus on it. If you can't find it in your scene, and this right here is the scene, you can actually change out your interface the way you want. You can make the scene bigger, you can make the scene smaller, depending on how you like it. You can change it. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is the tree. This is where things get a little bit complicated, but don't be scared. Or you can also use the right mouse button if you hold it down to look around. And I think that's all you can do with that. And this is just for selecting. See, my light is still over there, so I gotta move it up. And look what happens if you delete your light. It turns like a dark, cool color, doesn't it? Yes, it sure does. And to bring it back, you don't have anything that says restore here. So if you go to your keyboard and hold down Control or CTRL, either one, the one to the right or the left, hold it down and click on Z. It should come back. Sometimes you have to click on Z multiple times, but it should come back eventually. Now let's go to our tree. Go to Create, and go to 3D Object, and then click on Tree. But before we do that, I need to tell you one thing. Make sure you keep yourself organized. So go to your cube, click on Rename, and name it Ground. Later on, I could actually add grass, like real grass, to this. I learned how to do that a while back, but I can't seem to remember correctly. Now let's go to our tree, make a tree, and it should pop up where the cube spawned. And it's gonna download the things. So it's a tree. Don't be scared. This might look a bit overwhelming at first, but it's not. Now let's find our tree. It's way down over here. Okay, where is our oh, below our ground. Let's take the tree. If you can't click on it from here, you can zoom in, and you can pull it up like that. And later on, I'll teach you how to add physics, but that's not for today. So you can move it back from the y-axis, x-axis, and z-axis. Well, it depends on how you turn. If you start to turn around, the axis kind of changes. Actually, not really. It stays the same. The blue is Z, X, red is X, and the greenish one is Y, as it shows up here. You can click on that to see your perspective and stuff. Now, pull it down a little bit so it's more realistic, not too down, but just like that. And next, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna find our camera, main camera. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it way up. So our main camera is in a bad place. This is what we see in our game view. Down here, this is our game view. When we click on play, our game view takes action. And if we have physics, all the physics will take an action too. Or will start taking action. So what I want to do is that I want to put it in a good view of my tree so I can play it and then you can see my tree. Good. So that's my tree. Now let me just select off of this and zoom into my tree and start working on it. First, let's click on it, and you have all this stuff. Don't be worried. Just leave it for now. Now, first thing you want to do, this thing already has one trunk, and you gotta be really careful with this because if you don't, you can actually end up doing like this, and your tree, you see what I mean? Yeah, that's not the best thing to happen. I mean, just back to perfect place. So this is the main trunk. can use this to move around the tree completely, but I don't want to do that. Now, you go over to this trunk over here, and then you click on this little stick beside here. Click on it, and it creates a new tree. Go back down here. Click on this. Creates a new tree. Oh, no, I did it wrong. Hold on. Let me figure this out. Hold on. I got it. You go back to the tree root node. Click on the stick again. I did it about 3 times. Four would also work, but it gets a bit overwhelming. And you saw what I did. Like, you could easily mess up your tree that way. So you got to be really careful when doing this. You could see all the boxes and stuff. I don't know why this is so sensitive right now, but it is. Pulling this part out of your tree out of the other one. And eventually, after you're done, it should make a nice and good branch like that. See, our tree already starting to look kind of realistic. Kind of. You go back here and click on this one, and then you start to pull it out from above it, and you start to pull it out like that. And just like that, you start to pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, and pull it out. Bam! You already got yourself kind of a tree. Now let's go into the leaves. First you click on a trunk, any trunk you want, and click on this little leaf. You get a leaf. Click on next trunk, leaf, and next trunk, leaf. You don't want to type the same one multiple times because then it won't work correctly. So what I want you don't have to do exactly what I do, but I would like it if you do. This group C thing doesn't matter; it just makes it more random. So let's start off with first one. Frequency should be about like this much, maybe. But you can change it around if you want a lot, you want little, doesn't matter. I just want like that much. Random, that's good. Growth scale. This is important. So this shows up here, this little thing should pop up the curve. This right here, this is the bottom of the tree, and this is the top of the tree. So you can kind of like turn it this way, but you can't. So from the bottom of the tree, it's saying that it becomes the biggest at the bottom of the tree, and it becomes smaller at the top of the tree. But I don't want that. I want a straight up other opposite. So it's really small at the bottom, but then it becomes real big at the top. Like that. So click on this one, and that should be good enough. And then you can increase your frequency a lot, like a bunch. And bam. And you go down a little bit. The growth angle, it just kind of like turns it. You don't really need it. You don't need that. You can leave it alone, but you can change it if you want. Now, this geometry mode, there's planes. There you can do a plane, a cross, which looks more realistic. I'll leave it on cross later. A tri-cross, which is just like 3 crosses. A billboard, which is just straight up flat. And a mesh. And the mesh, how to do a mesh? I'll do a mesh later. It's not very relevant right now. But you make a game object like this tree I made. If I pulled this tree right here, if I selected it and I pulled it down in here, it would become a mesh. So let's say I made this little leaf here in the game scene. And then I pulled it down here as a mesh, and I pulled it in here. I could use that as my leaf, but I'll just leave it on the ones you can already put. I'll go over to cross. That's nice. And now you need a material for this, so you can go over to create and click on material, and your material will be, I'll call it leaf color. Now it's called that. You should go and color it with this color of a leaf. Make sure it's not the same as your ground. I'm gonna do mine a real like bright of that. I don't want it metallic. I want it straight up, no smoothness, nothing. And that should be good. And then go back to my tree. And then pull the leaf color. Remember, drag it into here. And if this pops up, just click apply. Doesn't matter very much. And it's applying. And bam, you got yellow stuff. And let's go down to the trunk. Let's just leave this alone because it says that hand editing messes this up. So let's just leave it for now. And let's go to geometry mode, branch only, branch plus fronds. I'm not sure. Oh no, I'm not doing fronds. And fronds only, which I'm not really sure what fronds are, so I'm gonna go branch only. Looks the most realistic to me. Branch material. So I'm gonna make a new thing, a new material called branch color. And again, and this time I'll go over here. I'll pull it kind of. You see like the red and like the orange go there, and then like right over here. It should be like a brownish color right there. Should be a nice dark brown. I want it to be completely no smoothness. That's not a good color. That's not brown enough. It needs to be super brown. There we go. That's better. And now you click back to the tree. And then you pull the branch material and apply. You see, it's only partly like that because you know, part of it has only been added. And you can't really add a color to that. So you need to add a color to all three of them so it looks nice. So you can go ahead and duplicate all I did right there on here. And so I'll go ahead and do that and I'll see when I'm done. My tree is now done. You can see it. And the next step you want to take is that you want to take the tree. Now, if you, I don't want to play it yet, but you can take the tree, right-click it, right-click on your mouse, and click on Duplicate. And see, it makes like tree and then tree 1. Well, what you should do is that you should drag the tree 1 and click and put it under tree, so you can close it up and it be more organized. Like, oh, I want to see all my trees. Bam, there's my tree. So then, to pull it out of the other one, you gotta like. You don't want to grab the thing, so you gotta click on this. Click on the bottom thing to drag the other one out of it. You don't want to make it look like identical, so you probably should like stagger it a little bit. And you can actually like, you know, pull this up and duplicate this, and then like pull this out like that to be more efficient at doing it. Which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it a bit more random, and then like that, and then I'll just close you up, then duplicate you, and then do that, like that, and then I can do it one last time. I'm too lazy for this. I'll just put it on there, and then I can close this up and then duplicate this one more time. Just pull everything off to the side like that. And bam. So, the last thing I want to tell you is how to organize your stuff. See, I have materials all over the place. I have a tree here. Oh, and if I don't want to do that, I can actually take the tree. If I zoom in, I can select the tree. I should be able to drag the tree. It's exactly what I just made. So now I have a tree mesh, so I can actually just add in a tree manually like that anytime I want. So if I put the leaves as the tree mesh, then I would get that as my mesh, and I would have trees filled with other trees, which is kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, I know. So you gotta right click on this and click on create and go to folder. See all that stuff? You don't need that right now. And just name this materials. Like that. And then drag all these into the materials folder. And then you should make a new folder and name it mesh. Mesh is like objects and stuff. And I'll put this in here. Now you have this. If you ever want to see your mesh, like I want my tree, double click on this and you just pull your tree in like that. Or it's like, oh, I need my color, so you can go back to assets, materials, and get the color you want. I don't need that. So next time, I will be teaching to probably make a third-person character, because Unity comes built in with that. Actually, no, a a controller. There's this thing you can do. You can put like a controller on an object, and you can move around with that object and stuff. So I'm gonna teach how to do that next time and navigate around your thing. And after that, I'm gonna teach about making the benches, which is actually made pretty manually. So you might think, oh, you need to model that. You don't. You just need to be really smart and use your senses. It's kind of a weird way to make a bench, but I'm still gonna do it. And then last of all, I'll make the houses, and then I'll make a neighborhood. I'll do the lights, and then our park will be done. But yes, you can see, we're gonna have to like expand our thing, so it's way bigger. I had to do this multiple times in my other thing, probably like way bigger than that. So that's all for today, folks. My name is Joko101. This was Unity, and I will see you later, alligator.